Hello and welcome back to Stranded Deep. You join us once more in the map editor as we create a Jurassic Island, an island based on Jurassic Park. And last time we got as far as to put some big old mountains, big old hills on the island, which is kind of nice. We've got some cliffs here which kind of give you the idea of scale. So if we drop down, we're using W, S, A and D. Did I say that in the right order? We're using W to go forward, S to go back, A to go left, D to go right. We're using Q to go down, E to go up, and holding the right mouse button allows you to pan around. The world is looking beautiful and it's actually looking really good. If we go into some of the shallower seas and we go underwater, there is no fog layer. No fog layer. I think that's actually a bug. I think there should be a fog layer under the water, by which I mean there should be sort of blue, but there isn't. It kind of caught me off guard last time, but we are back and we have things to do. At the moment we're in, so there are different phases of making an island. There's the sort of the blocking in phase where you throw things down and then you play around with the terrain and get it how you want it. And then there is sort of the minutiae, getting things like cliffs and rocks and various bits and pieces in, and then you throw in all the foliage and the animals basically last, and then you go play with it in the game itself and go, oh, there's a load of bugs, flying trees and things, and then you go fix them all. So we are at the point where we are still playing around with the terrain. So we've got these two really big hills, we got this lovely beach, and we got these cliffs, and it's kind of like, well, these don't look very big, they don't look very impressive until you realize actually how big everything is. So we have a door here which gives us an idea of scale. It's still very hard to understand how big everything is. Yeah, these cliffs, you can't scale them, they're too big for a person to climb. So it would be interesting to see if you could even get a gyrocopter to fly over one of these, whether it actually triggers the height limit for a gyrocopter. So this time we are going to be playing around with, I think, well, basically that's the north side of the island. This is the south, east and west. Yeah, the thing about Stranded Deep is north is actually, I think, is in that direction. Hang on, the sun rises over there. It rises in the diagonal, so that's west, east. So north is, that north is that way. North is in that direction. Yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, we've got this big flat sandy area, which is kind of cool. It's sandy, it's flat. We could leave it like that. I kind of want to raise it up a little bit though. I just kind of want to bring this area up. Thinking about it, I mean, we could do something interesting here. We could bring it up and we could create, it's big enough to create a cave, I think. Now, I've made caves in other islands in other maps. Alright, there's something to do in it. It is, it's definitely something to do. The downside of it is, it takes a lot of space. We have a lot of space to play with, that's fine. Right, okay. So let's click on this. We're on objects at the moment, so we can move this up and down. R to rotate, T to transform, and C to copy, and delete to delete. Unfortunately, the yes command there, you can't actually just say, yeah, delete the thing, because it doesn't go away. So the basic premise of this island, I kind of wanted to create something a bit taller, a bit more vertical. We can pack a bunch of stuff in. We're going to throw some sharks in the sea this time, so it's an actual functioning island rather than a home island. Some of the other islands we made are, I mean, they're good. I think the archipelago was kind of an experiment to see if you could make an archipelago. We can. It kind of works, but it kind of doesn't work at the same time. So there's no harm in experimenting, because every time we do it, we learn a little bit more. So we're going to take the shipwreck. We're going to press T to transform. We're going to pull them out. R to rotate. So one of the things I do like doing is making sure everything has a place in the world or has an effect in the world. So even if we take something, we jam it in the ground. Let's do this. Let's transform. Let's put wrong button. So you got to grab one of these points, either the XYZ coordinates, and then move it around. We're going to grab the terrain brush. I'm going to be using the terrain brush a lot. We're going to hit set height, read from the water. Amount is down. Amount is inherited slider between everything. If you wondered how much the amount slider is inherited, it's completely inherited. There might be a problem if no. Okay, we can sort of pull that down on the inside as well. That's fine. Some bubbly bubbles in there. We don't really want the bubbles, but well, it's not an issue. So what I'm doing is pulling the water back on this side, but not this side. Well, we'll probably raise it up on the other side. I just want to make sure there's no bubbles. Grab the smooth height, crank that up, and then smooth this all back so that it's not. There we go. There we go. We will raise. The amount, again, is inherited. If we left it like that and clicked, we'd end up with a spike. And there's no controls there. There's no undo. So we will change that all the way down. We're using the soft brush. And then we'll just raise up along here. Just a little bit. There we go. Lower. No, we can smooth. It'll naturally lower anyway. I just want to raise it up a little bit to show that it's interacting with the side of the ship, but I don't want grass and things to start appearing because height is the grass is defined by height. So we can set, we can raise and lower. Let's on lower. I just want to get rid of that, knock that down a little bit. Size, come on in. There we go. What is going on with the music? Are there two musics playing? Or has the music got stuck? No, there it goes. Okay, fine. Oh wow, that was weird. I just had a moment there for a minute. Yeah, I think are there two audio loops playing? I think all the music is playing in the map editor. I'm just trying to listen to it, and then what is going on? That sounds so strange. I'm going to turn that down for me. I'll probably turn it down on the edit anyway, just a little bit, because wow, that's weird. Okay, fine. We're on smooth height. The amount is all the way down. We need it all the way up. We need it all the way up because we need to bring this in here. Because although it affects that side of the boat, so we'll smooth. That's going to lower that side. Cool. The reason we're doing this is because I like having little trinkets, little toys, little things for people to find and explore. You can also use these buttons at the top to rotate and various whatnots. Let's do that. Rotate, explore. So yeah, you can come here, you can stand on here and go, oh no, there's bad things in the ocean, yo. Or whatever you sound like. You do you. Alright. We are going to grab this thing. I'm going to use these as a way of... As a way of... Now, do we want to force people to go through a little tunnely thing? Maybe. Okay. As a way of guiding people in. Also, because we're going to be using the terrain brush again quite aggressively, this also gives us a nice clean edge to work with. Yeah, I think I will do that actually. R to rotate. Interesting. It rotates from the middle. It'd be nice if we could define like a rotation from either edge. Snapping as well. There's so much that can be done with the map editor. I know the game's not finished. I know the map editor is very it's kind of like a courtesy thing, I guess, but there's so much more that can be done with the map editor. I'd love to see a bunch of features added, but it's not the worst map editor I've ever used. It's gotta be said. It's got to be said. Right, okay. What are we doing? We're going to be using Cliff 6 a lot for this one. Let's clone that by tapping C. The other thing we're going to be doing is using a door. So we will be blocking things back in. But this is going to take a lot of space. And in order to kind of get it to where we need it to be, yeah, so there's going to be a lot of dirt and things thrown over the sides of it. I kind of don't want you to be able to see directly in there. So let's do this, and let's rotate this round. So playing around is a good thing to do. It's free. Your time, well, it's not necessarily 100% free, but you can play around as much as you like. Not a problem. Just get creative. See what you can do. There is a kind of an item limit in terms of what you are allowed to put into the world. You will find that there are only a limited number of trees. It's certainly the pine trees. A limited number of wrecks as well that you can throw in. So get creative, but get creative to a point, a limit, as it were. Right. How is this gonna work? Interestingly, that's how. So I need this up. One of the things I keep doing is bringing the camera down and looking at the bottom of these cliffs, because these things are open on the bottom. It's kind of immersion breaking if you are wandering around and you're like, oh, I'm just going to stop to tie my shoelaces. Oh no, I can see inside the geometry. That's kind of, that's not great. So we've got these, well, if we look at it from above, let's press R, rotate this. Let's be a little bit more aggressive with it. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's better. And then we can do the same thing with this. So rotate, grab the green bit, press T. Okay, right. So bring the camera down. Boom. You can still kind of see in from this direction, but it's not just a straight line. Kind of want to avoid a straight line because, well, it's not great, is it? Okay, last time we did this, we put some rocks over the top to create a roof. We left gaps in the rocks. It was actually a bigger cave as well, if I think about it. Let's do this. So we hit up objects, and yeah, we were on objects anyway. We will go to rocks, rocky rocks. We've got big rocks, small rocks, rocks the size of your head. That's always a good one. We can try Cliff 6. So while we've got Cliff 6 sort of in the world, it's big. It's real big, but it is... Camera also speeds up and slows down the closer you are to an object, which is kind of annoying and worrying. Yep, you can see the underside of the object, because the texture, the internal face of the texture is see-through. It's completely transparent. You can only see the outer face of the texture, so if you look inside the geometry of the object, you can see clean through it. Yeah, a bit of a problem. So we're just gonna raise that up a little bit. How high can we go here? I mean, we can raise this up. Oh, quite a bit. Yeah, okay, I was worrying for nothing. Let's do that and that. So we grab... In fact, we don't need to do that. I've been done. We can click that button to delete it. Boop. Because we can just hit C to climb. Move that back a little bit. R to rotate. Rotate using the red toggle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we're talking about. So what we need is to make sure you can still get in here. That's the main thing. And in order to do that, we're on objects. We need a door. So structures, door. Hello, door. Oh, look at that. So I was thinking, maybe it's a little bit too tight to get a person in there. A little bit narrow, a little bit. I'm not sure about this. And then you whip out a door and say, well, actually there's plenty of room, plenty of breathing room. So the door is an excellent guide to how high a potential player might be. So if you're like, oh, I need to create some steps, but I don't know how high to make them. Boom, door, not a problem. So we're going to push that back a bit. The reason I'm pushing it back a bit is, again, these things are hollow underneath, and what you don't want is the world being not enough? No, what you don't want is a tiny picture of Queen Victoria. No, what you don't want is people sort of driving around the outside of the island going, oh, there's a big old gap there. Also, if it's flush with the edge, it just kind of looks a bit unnatural. And I kind of want it to look a little bit natural. Like, not completely natural, but natural enough that people say, oh, it's kind of natural. So we've got this roofy roof. Let's see. We got a cave. Is it claustrophobic and tight in there? Well, it's certainly narrow, yeah. Can we get a door in there? Plenty of room for a door, plenty of room for a door the other side. Drops down, tippity hop through the water, get onto the thing. My only concern is that you might get stuck in here. Oh no, we're stuck. But wait, I think this was one of the wrecks you could get stuck in. Yeah, there's the orange grab rail, so you should be able to jump out there, no problem. Problemo. Because it's not underwater, the game's not going to stick a freaking squeaking thing. Corals, that's the word I was looking for. I was going to put a coral in there. I'm just having a little look on the top. All the geometry now on the roof of the cave is looking a little bit weird. We're going to have to put some rocks and stuff there in order to make it less weird. I could probably bring it over a little bit more. A little bit more. Let's have a look inside, see if we've just crushed everything. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope. It's just kind of... Yeah, now the boat's clipped into it. Okay. Can we do that in such a way that... Can we manipulate it from the inside? Other way. Boop. Alright. Booping is happening. Booping has happened. We are now inside the rock geometry. The camera will speed up and slow down the closer you are to any given geometry. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. So we got like this ugly ass pile of rocks now. Oh no, this pile of rocks is ugly and ass. Whatever will we do? Well, we can't put terrain over the top of anything. We're going to click on object, terrain and objects just to unlink ourselves from whatever we've got selected. Also down here, look, bottom of the geometry, bit of a big old problem. Big old problem. It kind of looks like a... Yeah, it kind of works, but it also kind of doesn't work at the same time. Alright. I mean, we have other options. We can use rocks, but then we sort of start hitting the item limit for the roof of a cave. No, I think this will be fine. Okay, right. So what we're going to do is punch terrain. We're going to raise and lower. Or we're going to hit raise. We're going to change the amount down to a sensible amount. We're going to select a sensible size brush. We're going to have the hard edge brush because that's what we need. And then we're going to just let it raise up. All right, the amount can come up a little bit more, just a little bit faster. There we go. There we go. Oh no, because all this here on the inside, this is kind of chunky. It's a bit chunky monkey. But you can bring the terrain up through the... There we go. Let's get it to a sensible level. There is sensible. So we can hit set. We're going to read it from here. Boom. So using the same hard edge brush, target values. Okay, we want the amount up. Oh no! Oh look, that's why you don't take the amount slider. Don't abuse the amount slider because it'll ruin your island. But we can pull the terrain up through the inside of the old rock mesh from the outside, because the inside we only need this kind of 1 pixel thin texture, or technically not even a measurable amount of thinness texture, just to be showing. So boop boop boop. So we can bring this up, bring it out, and then the roof is looking a little less crazy, a little less cray on the outside. I don't know why I'm leaning away from the microphone. I don't know. Something dark side. So yeah, let's bring that up. What we're also going to do is we can use plants and things to continue masking various aspects of this cave. So what we can do is bring that back along there. And I'm just checking on the inside, make sure I haven't just accidentally got a load of geometry showing. Fine. Fine. Now we can go soft brush. Now we can go, let's go to set height. I like it. No, I'm thinking on the fly. That's my thinking on the fly noise. Okay, see the amount's all the way up. Don't want the amount all the way up. I want it softer. I want it really a lot softer than that. We can actually change the size of the brush. Because we're not using raise and lower, it's not going to get any higher than this level, this plateau here. So we don't need to worry about, if we were using raise and lower, any area the brush clipped into on this plateau, the plateau would start going up along with everything else. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really want that. Don't really want that. It's not good sand, not a good thing. All right. So we're gonna bring it all up. The soft brush obviously spills out, so it means the stuff on the outside is coming up slower than the stuff in the center of the brush, which gives you sort of a more smooth elevation. Does it work? Cool. So brilliant. We now have a rudimentary cave. We now have the dirt on the outside, and we now have trinkets. No, we don't have trinkets. So what we're going to do is whack the smooth height up, crank that up, and then, yeah. And the smooth height, just by normal, I guess it normalizes the height over the area of the brush. I think that's what it actually does. If you want a word for it, if you're into audio, you're going to be familiar with that word. Normalizing. It's what everyone doesn't do to their MP3s and then wonders why one's louder than the other. It's like, dudes, normalize your MP3s. Otherwise you'll get deaf. Or just, I don't know, use a service. Like, whatever streaming service you choose. I'm not going to say one. I'm not affiliated with anyone. So we're going to use a smooth tool, and that sort of weird bumpy mess of a little hillside is now coming down, and it's looking nice. It's good. These nice chubby cheeks that you can pinch as it goes off to school, cave school, obviously. Part of the it does majors in geology. It's like hang on, which one's the one? Which one's the one about rocks? That's geology. yeah. So we can crank the amount down a little bit. Geography is places, and geology is terrain. I think that's the easiest way to kind of know the difference between the two. We still got this kind of mess of rock. We'll have to do something with that. We'll use plants and things to smooth it off. Cool. So now what we can do is, I'm going to use raise and lower, make sure the amount's down. Smooth brush, I'm going to make it smaller. A little bit bigger than that. So there is a reason why the brush snaps to points. It's not your computer. It's not my computer. But there are, if you've noticed, let's see if we can find one. Little triangles and things. I don't think I'm going to be able to find any unless we click on the cog, hit display ocean, because right offshore there is this sort of peaky mess, poiky blinders. Yeah, all these triangles. There's one there, there's one there. These are all little nodes, like a triangle grid, I guess, that the island mesh is made up of, and that is why your brush snaps at things, but it's also why, well, everything is made of triangles. They're polygons, dudes. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, if you use a too small brush, you just end up making little triangles everywhere. I'm going to turn the ocean back on because it's pretty. It's pretty. I went to reach for the square brackets because Photoshop again. Oh, so what we're going to do is we use raise and lower now, and just sort of raise it up around these rocks, because what I want is kind of dirt covering some of the rocks. We've got to keep an eye on the inside. Obviously, you're going to get some spill, like here, along here. This wasn't here before. These are this raised up dirt. Not a problem, because it adds some texture to the inside of the cave walls and things. So I'm not actually unhappy with that. No, it's kind of one of those things you expect. Raise and lower? Yeah, because some areas you just kind of, like this, you just kind of want to raise up individually. You don't want to set height at this point. I'll throw some rocks and then some trees and stuff. That's pretty much all you can do with caves. There's not a lot really, without the game allowing you to tunnel through terrain. I know it's possible within the Unity engine. I don't know. I don't think it will be implemented within Stranded Deep, only because it's a lot of work, and it would also allow you to potentially punch through the upper mesh of an island in ways that are unexpected to the developers. And there's only 2 dudes developing it, and they're like, we don't need that in our lives. We don't need that in our lives. I'm going to change the size up, because the more brush has to work with, the smoother things are going to be. Again, along here, get rid of that peak. Okay, so we've got LOD. So as the further we go away, the rocks become super basic, and then closer they are, they pop in up to the high definition, high polygon models, high definition textures, high polygon models. Good. Well, I'm glad we can get that one squeezed out of our mouth holes. There's probably a few more things we can do with this in terms of dressing. That's a basic cave. That's kind of, I mean, we could leave that now and that'll be fine. We're not putting in plants at this point. What I will do though is just smooth this off, and by smoothing it off, it raises it up. Yeah, because the brush is detecting the geometry that's inside the walls. I'm just doing it to get rid of some of these weird triangles on the floor. By doing that, let's push that back a little bit, that one there, so we can lower, make sure the amount slider is down, push that back, push it back, push it back, push it back. Oop, we're inside the boat. Don't want to be inside the boat. So, hey, but no. I'm going to use set height. I'm going to read it from here, and then we are going to just the amount's down. Okay, fill that in. It's going to be easier than trying to raise and lower here. So it's going to have an effect on the outside. Not entirely sure what the effect is going to be, but I can see I don't need to keep clicking. You can just push and hold. All right. Okay. Cool. Let's go to the top. Oh, why did I lean back for that? No visual effect on the outside. So yeah, that was within this rock geometry. If we just objects so we don't have the blue brush everywhere, and push our face through the texture, through the keyhole, and the camera gets super slow. Okay, this is what's on the inside. So we're inside Cliff 6, and obviously because we're inside it, we can see like slivers of external texture, but we can see straight through. This is the island mesh. It gets to here and then it kind of stops on the inside. So that's what we're looking through, this kind of stretched grass texture. But as soon as you're in the cave, you don't really notice that. So that's cool. It's cool. And that's pretty much the only thing you can really do with that. Why do we do that? Why do we raise that up? Because we have height on this side of the island, but on this side of the island we don't really have much. It actually adds quite a powerful, like the rocks are quite powerful in sort of just structural elements. So we've got that, and you can see it from, well, everywhere on the island. And it looks pretty cool. Pretty cool, if you ask me. So what we can do is brush around here. Do we want to do that, or do we want to work on another part? guess by working on this part, we're also going to be, so if you kind of run out of ideas, if you're like, oh, I want to make this island, I just got home from work, I've thrown the cat down in the bowl and the keys are now next to the food bowl or whatever, and I want to do it, but I don't really know what I've got this one part of the island that I know what to do with. Let's work on that. The rest will come eventually. So let's continue working with this. So terrain, it's nice, but again, this area is perfectly flat. If we put our face under the water, wow, things get terrifying. Let's go find a hill and do that. Let's do that. Boom. Okay, so this stuff here, this blue, this foamy texture under the island, this is the water. The water in the world will carry on because the water layer is sea level, whether there's land in the way or not. If you've ever had a shark swim through an island and been like, why is it doing that? It's just because it's ignored the island mesh and is literally swimming in the water layer that is beneath your island. Is that a Stranded Deep thing? Nope, happens in every single game. In fact, I remember one of them. What was it? It was Crisis 2, I think. I think it was like DirectX water textures or something. DirectX 11 or 10, when it came out, they used a different water mesh, and it slowed the game down even in levels where there wasn't water, because if you just had a little look, under the terrain, the water layer was there, regardless of whether the map needed it or not. Raise and lower. And I'm going to crank the map up a little bit. And what I'm doing is, we can barely see it. Okay, so the water layer is very close to this kind of sandy layer. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. What I'm going to do is make little paths in and out of here. I like the idea of it being wet though. Obviously, at different times of day, is that the sun disappearing because of the clouds? Yeah. The sun and the cloud layer aren't actually attached to each other. The light and the light's not really being included by the clouds because they're kind of volumetric. Okay, so if we go and crank the time up, so that puddle actually almost completely disappears at low tide, and at high tide this actually fills up and gets pretty wet. So the entrance to this cave is proper wet. Yeah, you're gonna get your toes wet, but that's the thing. So we'll just crank the time back up to a sensible time. What? Why is that not a sensible time? Wait a minute. Central point. There we go. There we go. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on? So we raise and lower, and the reason we're using raise and lower is because we're not really doing any structural elements to the terrain. So we're not creating hills and mountains and stuff. We're creating little paths. So we'll punch it down, but at some point we're going to be using the smooth tool, and then we'll smooth it out as best we can. We might still end up with little triangles and stuff, just because of the narrowness of this particular path. So let's do that. Cool. Do we want to start putting trees and stuff in at the moment? We could. I mean, we will need to bring this out a little bit, maybe? Question mark. Not sure. I do like that little sandbank though. So under the water, boom, this sandbank. Above the water, it's kind of narrow and very thin, and it marks the edge of the abyss, but also, if you're not on the ball, it's like, oh, it's a shark. Nope, it's not a shark. Well, maybe there will be a shark there. The other thing is, any players or your players to the island, they are going to want to go everywhere. You build a mountain, they're going to go walk on top of it. You put a boat somewhere, they're going to go and find it. It's very hard to path people. So it's very hard to say, hey, this is the entrance, use this, because people will just like find their own way through a place, either through the front or swim into it or whatever. But you can make it tricksy without seemingly making it tricksy. One of the things we can use is some rocks, rocky rocks, big rock. Yes. Oh, hello, big rock. We like you. You're fun. So we'll use some big rocks. And why are we using big rocks? Well, because it's going to force people out into the water. But if we put some predators in the water, it might not. Yeah, they might not be so keen to do that. The other thing we can do, I mean, we can use a cliff. This one's really, really freaking big. I'm not going to use you. I'll use you later on because you are very, very useful. Go away. But what I will do, I think the big rocks are fine. Big rocks. Big rock 1. Is that big rock 1? Big rock. So I'll have to rotate. And then T to transform. The thing about big rock is that people can obviously hop over the edge of it. Are we trying to stop them getting in there? Nah, you do you. What we're trying to do is make the entrance look a little less uniform. So that's why I'm using these big rocks. Cool. Yeah, so the entrance to the cave, what we're trying to do is just make it, a little less uniform. I keep having to stop. It probably will be unnoticeable in the edit. I keep having to stop because the old downstairs flat. I think it's the, what is it? It is their boiler, their immersion heater. Every time they use a sink or whatever, it just makes this noise like a coffee grinder. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's the water going through the pipes. Really stupid pipe system. Not anyone's fault. But yeah, it's a curious thing. So we are just adding some rocks, rocky rocks. We'll add this one here. Why are we adding this one here? Oh, well, because we can do this. And I don't want to make it like obvious. Like super obvious. But I do want it to be... Well, which one are we grabbing? The blue toggle. So the nice thing about this is that you can put... should we have that there? Or should we move it over? Oh, green. It's green. Over here. Yeah, I think here's going to be better. Right. Here's the thing about playing around. You get to play around. I just like the idea of having a rock that if you want to come up here and jump off something into the sea, you can do it. And it almost invites you to do it. So let's rotate. Yeah. But not trap people in a situation where you're like, oh, whoop. So F is focus. Just tapped F instead of hitting the button that I wanted to tap. Rotate. Green. Okay. Is this working? Not quite. Red. Green. Blue a little bit. Is that better? Yeah. Yep, that's better. So I just want to make sure if we go oh yeah, no, that's terrifying. And if you do drop, let's go forward a little bit and just go straight down. Oh yeah, you'd be, well, I mean, you're not going to hit anything, put it that way, but it's not going to be pleasant. So yeah, we've just put some rocks up just to change the old dynamic of the cave entrance to kind of disguise the fact that we've used a lot of Cliff 6. I'm going to use some more big rock. Why am I trying to drag it from the wrong place? That's better. That, detective, is the right place. So we're doing the same thing here. I will just go boop. So it makes it a little less I guess for nervous players, they'll want to go round on the inside a little bit more. If you're just a person who doesn't care about sharks, then you ain't going to care about shark. And that is absolutely fine. Right, big rock. To rotate. T. So we could have left that rock sticking out, as we could have done that. It just looks weird on its own without sort of other stuff around it. I think I'm going to rotate this one out as well. Just from... There we go. That's better. Now it just doesn't look like it has no purpose. It has purpose. It's a porpoise. Porpoise. Also going to put some rocks around here. Nice. I actually like that as it is. Boom, straight in there. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I like that. Same thing over here, maybe. We can press T, just jam it into the terrain a little bit. Cool. That's good. And the reason I'm doing that is because one of the ways if you've got a lot of big, grey, ugly-ass cliff, I'll put a few trees in. We'll start with the palm trees. Palm. That one. Whoa. Can we rotate these now? No. Okay. That's alright. I've seen in the main game, if you go into the main game, I have seen that there are palm trees that are leaning over at an angle, but you can't make them lean here. It's not a terrible issue. I'm using 2 at different heights. I'm going to put it down, a little tap, a little rut to rotate. Cool. What does that do? Well, that immediately starts getting in the way of all this rock and adds a little bit of green in there. So that's neat. We'll do the same thing over here. We're going to a little palm tree there. I'm going to do the whole palms growing sand thing that we've been doing all along, only because I like it. I like doing that. I know that people have said, oh no, you can put palms on top of a hill. Yeah, you can, but I don't know. I just like the idea that the palms are there because that's where the coconuts landed. Put 3 there. Is 3 going to be stupid? I don't want it to look like they're placed. That's the thing. It's like, is it natural the way it is? So 2 things you're going to worry about when you're putting a tree in. Is the trunk all the way in the ground? Is it floating? Because if you just leave it floating, and I've seen this in games, like actual AAA games, it's like boop. Oh, there's a tree there. Why? Because the person who made the map didn't jam it in the ground. And the other thing they don't always do is give it a little rotate to make sure the texture is, if you put a lot of the same tree down, the texture isn't just kind of repeated. So if you look down an avenue of trees, the texture is not repeated along the entire avenue. Good. The other thing I'm doing is just making sure the leaves aren't clipping into the freaking squeaking cliffs, because that's just a little bit amateur hour. So we'll pull that out. I just don't like it when the leaves are noticeably clipped into something. Well, if it's not quite there, then you're okay. So we've moved this around a bit. Is it fine? It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's got plenty of stuff poked in the ground. What does that do? Well, that now breaks that up. We've added some essentially vertical lines to amorphous grey with a little bit of green on top. Oh, that's great. The roof of the cave. Okay, fine. I guess we'll deal with it. So we will hit up rocky rocks. Oh, these big rocks, the ones that we've been using. Yeah, they're really good for filling in holes. Why would we fill in a hole? Well, That's an excellent question. Glad you came up with that. The reason is players might fall into a hole and then get stuck. Or it might impede movement. Two very bad things. Impede a player's movement just through the bad map design, or the fact that they are stuck in a hole or something. Players are just going to have a bad time. They're just not going to like it. So what we're doing is we're adding these big rocks, which are of a different texture. So we got 1, 2. Cool. And good. Right, okay, fine. So that's smoothed that off. That also creates kind of a natural path in different texture. Oh, look! Ah! Yeah, that's the camera speeding up and slowing down when it gets close to an object. Sorry about that. There's nothing you can do. You can't lock the camera speed. I mean, Ben, Sam, if you're watching this, if you've got this far in this video, God damn it, if I ask for one thing, one present, which I almost guarantee they're not watching, but if you get one little present, just lock the speed of the camera to one speed. One speed. I don't need to shoot off into the sun. So look, we've done that. So we've smoothed it off. We've made sure there's no big gaps, and players now will be able to run over the top of this like, nobody's business. Cool. We'll carry on putting big rocks in. Some of these rocks have nice flat surfaces, some don't. Let's do this. Alright. I think Cliff 6 is thick enough. Yeah, it's thick enough to take it like a champ. I was worried that that boat might be actually clipped into the rocks, but it's not. So that's fine. Yeah, this kind of weird joining of the two cliff meshes at the top. Didn't like that. Didn't like it at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that so that hides some of that joining. Also smooths out the path and blah, 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 blah. Everything that we've talked about in the last 5 minutes. Good, excellent. We're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to hit the R to rotate. We are going to move. We're going to move this around until it kind of fits like a melted Snickers in a school blazer pocket. There we go. One of those things that just happens and then you'll never get it out. Never get it out. Cool. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Much better. And then we can also throw one in. Yeah. Look at this. Is this not the most amazeballs thing you've ever seen? No? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So we'll do that and that. Why? There's a natural bit of geometry on this rock that kind of suggests you pull it over that way. Oh, that's fine. It just lowers the angle that people have to jump up to get over the top. Yeah, so it doesn't matter so much here. This kind of weird junction, but I mean we could do something there as well. Throw another big rock in. Let's do it. You don't want to put too many in. You don't want to make it smooth as an Android's bottom. But what you do want is just to get big holes. Anything that people are going to have a problem with, just get them all smoothed out. Right, cool. So that's that. Could you technically jump up there? Yeah, maybe. You can do a Skyrim up there. Or an Oblivion. Yep. Let's just have a look on the inside, make sure we haven't beansed it up. I'll tell you what, while we are looking at you, just make sure you are the droid we're looking for, and then we will delete you. Because the door we may forget about. Okay, fine. So the cave. Whoop. We could hold down shift in order to move away faster. I didn't need to hold down shift. The game was just like, you know what? Goodbye. Oh, goodbye. So one of the things we're going to use, because there'll be, I guess, dry grass and things around this. Trees to break up the rest of this. Hello, Ficus. My old friend, Dirty Ficus. Yeah, Ficus tree 2. Oh boy, Ficus tree 2, come to me. I don't know what they're doing downstairs, but I can guarantee it's not the washing up. Maybe they're just running the hot tap. Maybe they're just like, oh, you know what? I really like the hot tap. It's divine. You know what? I'm just gonna keep running it and running it and running it, so that the old broken ass plumbing is just gonna make a noise like a howling banshee. I'm like, please don't. I'm recording. Oh well. So yeah, trees. That's the secret to this, to making this look pretty sexy. I'm guessing that's a word we can use. So we're going to use some of these trees. Like I said, you got these will snap to the geometry. You're not having you're not having a flashback to a 90s rave. This is actually snapping to the geometry. If we let go, it would then stop snapping. Boop. Then it would just pass through the geometry to pass through the terrain, which is what we're going to do here. So we're going to throw it in a gap in the terrain. The trouble is, as soon as we let go, it's going to snap to any other rock. We can't tab through... is that the tree? Nope, that's the rock again. We can't tab through items. There is no tabbing through items. So if you have a collection of rocks, what will happen is you'll put an item or a collection of items, you'll put an item on top of a bunch of other items, and then you may not be able to select it because it will automatically select something else, and then, well, it gets complete beansed. So can we look down the geometry of this tree? I don't think we can. Tree, are you here? Tree, nope, that's rock. That's I'm guarantee that's rock. Yeah, that's rock. Nope. Is that a tree? Nope, that's the other rock. We just have to change the camera angle. Nope. Oh no. And there's no like list of undo either. You can't just undo stuff. Alright, can we go into the geometry and select it that way? No. That doesn't look like any rock, any tree I see. That's a rock. Are we stuck with this thing? We stuck with it here. I'm guessing so. Tree, no! You were supposed to be the chosen one. I guess you have the high ground. Is that the tree? Yeah, that's the tree. Cool. Move you up a bit. So yeah, you have to get a little bit inventive. Oh, wait for it. I'm just waiting for the camera to come out of the ground. Oh, no, we're okay. We're fine. So yeah, what I wanted to do is pop that down. Oh. No. Hello? No. Oh my word. Okay, this is a new level of ass. We can change the camera around. Maybe we can click on it accidentally. Get it selected. I wish it wouldn't snap to something else every single... Oh, there we go. Every single time we touch this tree, it just snaps to something else if there is a bit of geometry in the background. Just trying to get it into this hole. And then, once it's in the hole, we need to give it a little rotate, because some of these branches lean out over the terrain better than the other branches, and then we can drop it down. And I'm going to say once we dropped it down, we probably never get it out again. All right, I'm dropping it down. We still got hold of it. There we go. And now it's snapped to a rock, but I think that's probably okay. Yeah. So what we've done is we've lowered the height of the tree, so it's now growing out with this natural hole in the formation, in the rock formation. But it's okay. It's fine. Can we select this tree? Yes, we can. Yeah, that is the tree we're looking for. These are the droids we're looking for. So we can drop it down. So these branches are growing at the ground. Wow, that was a lot harder than it needed to be, and the thing is, we can climb it. We can rotate it. And we can create a monster tree. Wait, what? Oh yeah. Yeah, did we not? We must have been through monster trees in other episodes. Yeah, you can totally totes make a monster tree. A world tree, as it were. Because these trees, the geometry is kind of weird anyway. They look good from one angle, but they don't look good from another angle. So if you have two together, it kind of uses some of your item limit. If there is a hard item limit. I mean, there is going to be an item limit in terms of processing power. Yeah. So you can create a world tree. World tree! We can also use different type of ficus. Baby ficus? Big ficus. There we go. Cool. And we'll jam you in a bit of geometry. T. Drag you there. Really slam you in there. Because I think this cliff's quite thick. It'll take it. It'll take it all. There we go. I like it at an angle as well. That's fine. Absolutely fine. So, but trees grow up, right? I'm like, yeah, I like it. No, okay, maybe not. Yeah, trees grow up, right? So let's do that. What's this one? Same ficus? No, slightly different. Okay, cool. We can do. Oh, where do I want to put it? That's what she said? Question mark? Maybe? I don't know. We can put it here. So we can jam it in between those two rocks. Is that between the rocks? Is this between the rocks we are looking for? No. Yes. Oh look, it's now between the rocks we are looking for. Oh, Master Wade, what are you doing in the butt cave? Good. Two different trees. So you start disguising the fact that you've got just a big lump of grey mesh stuff here, which is brilliant. You can also do. Oh yeah, the bushes got changed, didn't they? So I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm like, wait, the bushes got changed. Oh yeah. You can also do the cave entrance and various bits and pieces. Yes. I'm looking at the old bush model. I'm going, something we can do here, but I can't quite remember what it is because the bushes you can actually walk over. So let's do that. Let's add some foliage. Whoa, hey, whoa. I'm walking here. Foliage to this. I'm terrified that if we let go, it's going to mess up. There we go. Yes, now we're thinking of portals. Probably do another one here. We do that. And then jam it into the terrain. Put it back. And then give it a little rotate. Just want to get it to a point where... Yep. And then a little... Boop. Are we booping it? Booping the bush. Alright. Booping bush. We'll bring that up. Let's have a little look. Looks alright. Looks alright. Couple of bits of green on the top now. So we're doing the best we can in order to disguise the fact that we've got just a large lump of rock. We have disguised the entrance as best we can. In terms of having the big rocks, we've used palm trees around the entrance on the seaward side. We have a little diving off piece. We have a boat. We have the mesh, the island mesh raised up around the outside, so you can naturally walk over up to and over the top of it. The top is all sealed in. We've got trees breaking up the rock texture. We have the big old bush also breaking out the rock texture. We'll come back and we'll add stuff to the outside and really disguise everything there. The entrance now has this sort of watery walkway in. We're going to put some plants in there as well. Cool. So there is a basic like the pattern freaking cave. One that you can actually make in Stranded Deep without too much trouble. And yeah, that took us, well, it didn't take us that long, but we kind of knew what we were doing. So yeah, and now we have another part of the island in place. It's all raised up. It's quite strong and powerful. It's also obviously going to look different once you're in the game because the level of detail is going to be different, and also we'll have stuff between it and these mountain tops. But yeah, so Jurassic Park, Jurassic Island is getting bigger and it's getting way more detailed. So I'm going to leave it there. If you're liking this, definitely leave a little like, leave a subscribe, and if you do subscribe, click the little bell because that will give you notifications when videos go live. There's also a Facebook page and a Twitter because apparently everyone needs a Twitter account these days. And I'll tell you what, I'll catch you next time.